As you know, over the weekend, even Karl Rove came out and said, I want to get it right, that McCain has gone too far in some of his ads. Do you deny it?
Well, actually, Karl Rove said that both campaigns had maybe gone a step too far.
Right, but I want to talk about McCain with you, and we'll have Obama's guy on later. We'll talk about Obama with him. With you, I want to hold you accountable for what McCain is doing and get you to weigh in on this. Has your candidate gone too far? Has he stretched the truth with the voters?
Well, Megyn, what we have done is gone to great lengths to discuss Barack Obama's record. And I think what you're seeing in this ad today is that he would sooner hurl insults than examine his record. I mean, it is true that during a struggling economy, he proposes raising taxes on capital.
Not on the middle class.
That will on job growth and small businesses that drive the job growth of this country.
But you guys have suggested that he's going to raise taxes on the middle class, and virtually every independent analyst who took a look at that claim said that's not true. He'll raise it on people making more than $200,000 or $250,000, but not the middle class.
Well, Megyn, you're giving him an enormous amount of credit for a guy that has voted only to raise taxes in the United States Senate for him to make a new claim. Now, keep in mind that during the Democratic primary, he ran
I'm not giving him any credit. I'm saying what the independent analysts say. They say that that claim is false. And if that's false, why would John McCain do that, Tucker? Why wouldn't he just level with the voters and say, look, he's going to raise taxes on the wealthy or whatever you consider somebody to be making more than $250,000, and that's going to have a trickle-down effect that may not be good for the middle class. But why say he's going to raise taxes on the middle class when he's not?
Well, because his record says that he will. If we're going to take Barack Obama at his word for everything that he says he will do, the oceans will part, they will cease, the sick will become healed. There are all sorts of things that Barack Obama is claiming on this campaign. But when you look at his record, he has voted to increase taxes. He has voted in support of higher taxes for people making as little as $42,000 a year. I think that you and I can both agree that those are people that are entrenched in the middle class in this country.
Tucker,
I think if you look at his record, 94 times in 3 years he's voted in support of higher taxes. Why are we to take him on his word that he would cut any tax? He has no record of doing it. That's our job as a campaign, is to provide real context for what he's saying.
Why did John McCain suggest in an ad that Barack Obama supported comprehensive sex ed for kindergartners?
You'll notice that the Obama campaign has never refuted that they cast that vote. They voted for that in Barack Obama's committee. His committee in the state Senate that he chaired voted to pass that legislation. If you examine the language in the bill,
I looked at the language in the bill.
I know that you're going to have an Obama person on later. I hope that you will ask them if there was language in the bill that actually talked about sexual education for kindergartners.
I looked at the language in the bill talks about age-appropriate sex ed, including education about child predators and inappropriate touching. What's wrong with that?
And sexually transmitted diseases.
Right. Why wouldn't you want a kindergartner to be educated somewhat about inappropriate sexual touching from adults?
Diseases?
No, about
well,
a
that's
child
in the bill. That's the language in the bill. That is the bill that we're talking about reading, right?
Let me just ask the question, then you can jump on it. Well,
that makes sense.
His campaign says that's not fair because what he was backing was trying to educate little kindergartners on how to avoid sexual predators, and that you're distorting the language of the bill. Your response?
We didn't distort the language of the bill. We told voters that he voted in favor of this education. That is a reform that's on his record. If we can't talk about the votes that he's actually taken, if we can't talk about the fact that he's supported higher taxes, proposed more taxes in a down economy, when Americans are struggling and we're seeing terrible economic news, what can we talk about, Megyn? This is an important debate. Let's talk about the facts. No more of the dishonest, sleaze accusations, because what he's trying to do is divert attention away from the fact that he has no proven record of making reforms. And when voters go to the ballot in November, they're going to pull the lever for someone that's proven, someone that has a record of reform, somebody that has a record of bipartisanship. Okay. That is John McCain, not Barack Obama.
All right, Tucker, we're going to put Bill Burton, your counterpart for the Obama campaign, through the same thing in a short time here in America's Newsroom. Thanks so much for being here.
I wish him luck.
Can't use a computer, can't send an email, can't type on a keyboard. Bill Burton, spokesman for the Obama team, with us again from Chicago. Bill, good morning to you. Why was that important to have that in the ad?
Well, that ad is important overall because it says something about John McCain and how in touch he is with the American people's lives. You know, just today, just moments before you and I started talking.
That he can't use a keyboard
just moments before you and I started talking.
Because of Vietnam War wounds he suffered for 5.5 years of captivity?
1 second, Bill. Let me just answer your question.
Did you know that?
Yeah, just before, so I can answer your question. Just before you and I started talking, John McCain said on stage that the fundamentals of our economy are strong. And so that ad that talks about the fact that John McCain's out of touch. He doesn't know how to use a computer.
And he also said in the same sentence that, Wall Street's got issues, and if I'm president, I'll clean this stuff up. Back to the point. Did you know he can't use a key? I'm just quoting from what I'm reading from the campaign rally in Jacksonville, Florida.
But if John McCain thinks that the fundamentals of our economy are strong, then he should stand by that comment. As for your question about whether or not he can use a computer, I read an interview with him in the New York Times and another with him in the San Francisco Chronicle where he said that he was in fact learning how to use a computer and he was learning how to email, but he wasn't quite there yet. So
did it occur to you that the injury she suffered in the Hanoi Hilton is the reason why?
Why he was still learning how to use a computer?
And unable to type on a keyboard? Were you aware of that?
I think that I was aware of the fact that he had specifically said that he was learning how to use a computer. So I think that if he's learning how to use a computer, I think that he ought to, because the internet is the backbone.
So you're saying you weren't aware of that? That's your answer then, right?
No, my answer is that if John McCain is so out of touch with the American people's lives that he doesn't understand what's going on in their homes on their computers, doesn't understand how the internet affects our economy, doesn't understand that the fundamentals of our economy are not strong, we are actually in a crisis, and has no plan to address it, then that's something that they should be able to stand up for.
If he gave flesh for the country and you knew that he couldn't use a keyboard because his arms and shoulders were broken by the Viet Cong 4 decades ago, is that fair game?
Bill, I understand that you keep making this exact same point, but if he wasn't learning how to use a computer and he wasn't learning how to email, then why
yes or no, is it fair game? Do you think,
Bill, yes or no, was he learning how to use a computer?
Correct, but I'm asking yes or no.
That's the exact point.
You're not going to answer that. Let's go to another point, okay?
Right, because the fact is he's out of touch, and that's what that ad shows.
People over the age of 65 vote in this country, and you know it.
That is absolutely right, and most of them are out there using computers and understand the importance of the internet as it relates to our economy.
Wow, we're not getting anywhere. Are you going to take that group and just kiss them off in November? Is that what you're effectively doing?
Bill, I think that people understand that in order to understand the crisis that our middle class faces, in order to understand the challenges that people are facing right now and what's going on in people's lives, you do have to have a general understanding of what's going on in people's lives, be it healthcare costs, energy costs, or how the internet has an impact on our economy. And he doesn't. He's completely out of touch. That's why he keeps saying the fundamentals of our economy are strong when they are not. That's why he has no plan to get us out of this economic crisis that we're in right now.
Explain this. In the state of Minnesota, it's now tied 45-45. Why is that, Bill?
It's close all over the country. And Minnesota is a state I care deeply about. I'm a Golden Gopher. I'm proud of it. Our basketball team's looking good. But it's a place where the American people are closely divided. People are learning more about Obama. They're learning more about John McCain and his dishonest campaign. And when they sit down and they really think about the choice, they know that Barack Obama is for fundamentally changing our economy, making it stronger.
I hear your point.
John McCain is for just more of the same.
I hear your point. I asked you a lot of questions. Some of you answered part way, but next time we'll do it again, okay?
All right, Bill.
Bill Burton in Chicago with the Obama campaign. 19 minutes past the hour now.
Fair and balanced, as always. Well, Hurricane...